Hey folks, welcome back to another Paul Massive video, and today we're gonna actually talk about all the new 6-star EXs in the game and which ones you should probably work towards to promote to 6-star EX first. So with this new 1-year anniversary update, we got 4 new 6-star EX units, and there's also 3 more on the way that we know of, right? Being Luzmine EX with Pheromosa, Gladian EX with Silvally, and Lily EX with Clefairy, right? I guess I'm just gonna call them EX, right? Instead of 6-star EXs, that name's too long. I don't know. 6-star is 6-star nicer or EX nicer? Whatever. Anyways, the game's name is EX. Not that that matters. In terms of that, right? So these 4 units are the ones in the game right now, and from what it seems, it very likely seems like the EX skills are going to be based on rules, right? All strikers should have the same EX skill. All support should have the same EX skill, and or sync move buff, whatever you want to call it. And all tech units should have the same ones as well. So let's go into them real quick, in terms of what skill they all have, right? So that's wrong, Blastoise. For blue, or supports, I guess. For supports, the sync move buff would be once per battle, and it's only once per battle. The stat increase after using the sync move is doubled. So for those who don't know, when you first use not first, every time, I guess, you use your sync move, it increases your whole team's, basically, after that, it increases your whole team's damage by 50%, right? So that's a 1.5 times multiplier on your whole team's damage output, which is, the main thing about using sync moves, right? And that's why, even when sometimes you don't really want to use your striker sync move just because their other moves are much more powerful, you would still generally at least try to sync with one of your supports or tanks or whatever, just to get that 1.5 times multiplier bonus. 1.5 times is also basically as much as a crit is in this game, so that's like basically another crit on top of your crit, in terms of if you're trying to like visualize the damage, right? So obviously very powerful. So that's the support one. Let's get into the other ones real quick, if I could find where's our guy Red. Oh, there he is. Oh, because I already finished this, right? So Reds and all strikers in the future should be, right? It just turns their sync moves into an AoE, and this AoE actually does not split damage unlike all the other AoEs in the game, which is definitely very powerful. So yeah, that's for the strikers. Pretty straightforward. Just it hits all your opponents instead of hitting one, without, again, the damage reduction that you generally do get from AoE moves, right? And then the third version of the 6-star EX power-ups would be the tech ones, and as we see on Sygna Leaf over here, the tech ones should be 1.5 times power up for your sync move, so that's a 50% damage buff on your sync move specifically. The difference here between this and the support ones is this one applies during your sync move, and then the support ones apply after the sync move, right? So this is just specifically to make your sync moves 1.5 times stronger, and also this this isn't like a one-time thing in comparison to sports is just a one-time thing, right? But for techs, you could every time you sync, you get that extra 1.5 times, which would be especially powerful on sync nukers, right? So anyways, after we've gone through all that, let's talk about the 4 units that we have at the moment. Again, we can't really talk about the ones that we don't have yet, in terms of Luzmine, Gladia, and Lily, right? Just the ones that we do have. So these 4 got Blastoise, Rosa, Sygna Leaf, and Sygna Red, right? In terms of all of these 4, obviously all of these are very powerful. The one that I probably would not really consider... Oh, actually, well, here's the thing. I would personally consider it because I like the outfit a lot, and you should, too. I mean, obviously, I personally do think whichever one you want to go for the most is probably just one that you like the outfit the most and stuff, right? Personally, I like reds a lot, and I like leaves a lot, so I'm going to do red and leaf. However, in terms of actual usefulness, Leafs is probably the least useful here. And I'm not saying, the 6-star EX buff is not powerful. It's just for Leaf specifically, it's not as good as the other two. It's still good because Leaf does have a sync nuke on her grid, right? Which is relatively powerful. And it's not just a sync nuke on her grid. Her passive also has, or not her passive, her where even is it? This is the sync grid, right? I can't find it. Oh, she's all the way up here. Her sync move also has that extra damage increase if the opponent is poisoned or badly poisoned, which despite the low BP of your mega sync move, does make it actually, I guess, semi worthwhile. It will do some decent amount of damage here. But also on the sync grid, you could also pick up stuff like Relentless, which is the more the target's defense has been lower, the more it powers up sync moves. So your sync moves should do a decent amount of damage, especially, again, if you pick up these Tenacious Frenzy Plant power-ups as well. So with that extra 1.5 times multiplier, Sing Suit Leaf would do actually very, very respectable damage on the sync nuke. And it's not like you can't build Leaf as a you can't build Sing Suit Leaf as a damage dealer, right? It has a very, very potent damage dealer grid. Probably one of the better ones in the game. But I generally just do like to use her and have her or keep her as a support slash or healer slash tech slash tank slash debuffer slash poison status. She does so much, right? I do think those are generally more valuable roles for her. The only exception would be when you're fighting some stage that is weak to grass, because she is the strongest grass type damage dealer in the game right now. So that being said, like I mentioned, I love the outfit, and I'm I'm definitely going to 6-star EX my Sing Su Leaf when I do get the chance. Because again, reason why we're talking about this is the champion spirits are very, very limited, and the requirements to get a 6-star EX is actually pretty difficult, right? Because not only do you need the champion spirits, you also need them to be 20 out of 20 in the first place, which means you need to either save up potential 5-star potential tickets, or summon a bunch and get 5-star dupes for those tickets, right? Again, very expensive, even for me, right? I don't even have that many 5-star power up tickets myself. I mean, it's a decent amount, but it's not enough to like power up all these units, right? Let me see how much do I have over here. Yeah. That's not enough for the whole we're one short for the whole Luzmine family and all that stuff when they come out, and it does seem like they'll have more out in the future as well. So it's gonna be tough. So, anyways, that being said, let's move on to the other three. Of the other three, I do personally think that where is it? Oh, potential move level. I do think Blue or Singsu Blue and Rosa's 6-star EX sync move power up is more valuable generally in comparison to the Striker one on Red. Again, both these are really, really good, and it might come down to preference personally, but I just value like that extra 1.5 times buff is just so much more powerful, and you only need to use it once, right? And then afterwards you can still sync with your Striker and all that stuff. And the other thing about using those two is because they are supports, they just have more. There's more teams that you could put them on and have them be more successful, right? It's just I mean, you can't, like, strikers, you're generally not going to throw them into like every team, right? And for support, especially like a support like Blue, that also tanks a bunch on both ends, right? Physically and specially. There's a lot of teams that you could fit them on. The move gauge, acceleration, the crit, any team could use that. The special defense buffs, its physical defense buffs, all that stuff. So yeah, again, generally I do find it much more useful. Obviously the AoE sync move is also very powerful as well, but The other thing that I do kind of want to consider when we're talking about Singsu Red specifically, and a lot of also in the future, right? Any other fire type strikers that or weather reliant strikers that do get their 6-star EXs as well, especially if they are mega, right? And don't really rely on sync nuking that much. Red does have a decent sync nuke, but again, it's very very hard to set up, and I wouldn't say it's not worth it. It's tough to it's tough to make it work, right? Yeah, the reason behind that is the reds, or not reds specifically, the striker sync move again, you're generally only applying it when you're facing stage that it's weak against, and again supports you could just throw it anywhere, right? However, again, if you want to pick up Red's EX, it's still really good. Obviously, I know a lot of people like Red, right? The outfit's really nice. I personally like it a lot as well. I do definitely like it more than Rosa's and Singsu Blues. I like Singsu Blues like colors. I really do like the silver and gold on it. I just don't really like that pattern on his jacket as much, unfortunately. And I think Rosa's colors are, I don't know, they just seem kind of off to me. But yeah, the other thing that I did want to mention that I tried to mention, but I cut myself off and went on a tangent, is that for Red specifically, do keep in mind, especially if you do have a 3 out of 5 Lyra, Lyra's Synchro is coming out in a few days. It is very, very powerful, and once that comes out, you generally do want to use the Lyra sync move instead, right? Maybe you want to use Red sync move first to get him to, Mega Charizard EX, right? But then afterwards, you generally do kind of want to use Lyra sync move so you can maintain, so you could have the Sun Up, because the stuff that you gain from having Sun Up is much more, it is just better than the damage that you do from that one sync move, right? So in terms of between Singsu Blue and Rosa, these two units, I do think, if you have both, right? If you don't have Blue, obviously you don't have any choice. In between these two, I do think Singsu Blue is more valuable, because in general, like, not Lyra, I almost said Lyra, Rosa and Blue they do some similar things. They could both take hits, right? They both, even though none of them are really sustainable tanks, but they definitely have the numbers up there, and they both do move gauge regen. I just think Blue does it better, and the other thing about Blue is it's more valuable because Blue megas, right? After Blue megas, you get much better stats, and even though, I mean, it's hard to get much better stats than those, but surprisingly he does, right? So you get better defensive stats after you mega as well, and you also trigger Blue's passive, which is called, I think, Safety Net, which gives you the extra endurance as well. So in between Blue and Rose, I'd probably go with Blue. But the other thing to consider is resources, right? Because we are getting a free 20 out of 20 Rosa, right? So if you guys are more short on potential tickets, maybe the more economic way to go is maybe 6-star EX Rosa, and then use the rest to like 6-star EX Red or something. Again, that's in terms of resource management, I don't know what you guys resources you guys don't have, so that would be up to you, right? So anyways, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hopefully I can get this my Singsu Leaf. Oh, I don't even know, because by the time I get the other 25 champion spirits, because we're getting 25 champion spirits per week, and you need 50 total to 6-star EX them. We might get Luzamine, and I really want 6-star EX Luzamine. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, again, good luck on your summons for those who are still struggling with the banners, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.